It is Sean Kelleher, the CEO of Mondial Dubai. Morning, Sean.
Morning, and thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here. So much happening in the world of savings and investments at the moment. We have had within the past few days new regulations issued by the UAE Insurance Authority on the way that savings and investments can be sold, particularly fees and commissions. And in a few days' time, you are organising the first ever conference looking at workers' incentives and end-of-service benefits. Let's take a step back, Sean, and we'll drill down into each of these issues in a bit more detail in a second, but let's take a step back at the moment. Why are we seeing such big changes, do you think, in the moment, in the way that savings and investments generally, including gratuities, are structured?
In the UAE, why is there change? Is that the question?
That's the question, yeah. Why now?
Well, I suppose at the highest level, if you might take Sheikh Mohammed's 8 principles, in which the last couple, I think, are trying to attract talent into the region and preparing the country for the future. And of course, financial services and your well-being are critical parts of those two components, plus for every human being. In fact, as we take to a higher level, a book I've been reading recently called The 100-Year Life suggests that of the average 8-year-old, 50% of them are going to live beyond 100. So as human beings, we've got to be prepared for very long lives. Within that context, there's a huge pressure on individuals to organise their financial services. And we live in areas where government must. But on the plus side, the big debate around severance payment reform is whether it should be defined benefits or defined contributions. And of course, everything is moving towards defined contributions rather than, burdening government or corporate balance sheets with defined benefits. But in the UAE, of course, we got the gratuity defined benefit could work in favour by providing a very minimum return on long-term savings. And if that was topped up by defined contribution commitments, then of course we can improve the overall scene.
As Richard said, the end of service terms and conditions and the benefits don't really stack up. It's not very even. Do you think we should be moving on to away from end of service benefits to a proper pension scheme?
Well, that's a big. When you bring up the word pension, many Emiratis start growling at me because, of course, around the world, pension means taxation. And around the world, taxation means having a vote, etc., etc. So I don't see that happening. You've got to be very clear on.
Do you think it should happen?
Well,
to protect workers.
You know, I came here 29 years ago, about the same time as you guys, and we came here because for the sun and the sand, and taxation and having a vote and all those things just weren't on the table, and they haven't been, and I've been happy that it hasn't been.
Just tell me why you can't have a pension scheme without taxation. I mean, companies contribute a bit, the employee might contribute a bit.
Well, you can. It's a matter